Let's just talk briefly about the CUNY curriculum. That is the curriculum that you see in the binder before you, and although we won't be delving into the content necessarily of those pages today, this will be your big takeaway. This is what you'll be able to take home, take a look at, and hopefully integrate some of the lessons when you're out in the field working with your students. When Linda and I talked about offering this to our tutors, you know, we took a pause for a minute, and I'll tell you why. Most of our students, as you all are all too familiar, are working at lower levels. But the reality of it is 99%, maybe even 100% of our students come in, and the first thing out of their mouth is, I want a GED. Which we now know, of course, is not called GED anymore, it's TASC. And it isn't until they get into the process, the intake, the assessment, and actually start working with you in the field, that we see whether or not that is immediately realistic goal or not. And for some of our students, it most certainly is. And they work hard with their tutor, and they're able to sit and pass the new TASC exam. And for other of our students, it's a longer haul. But what the CUNY curriculum has shown us is that even if you are matched with a lower level learner, the TASC material as written can be adapted to work with your lower level students. So, we've never been fans, as literacy organizations, of working with childlike information. We all know that. We always use adult sources. Sometimes, however, we've steered clear of the high school equivalency material if a student was working at a lower level. What this training is all about is to show you that, yes, in fact, I can put some materials in front of you that are about this period in history and are written at a higher level and deal with content knowledge, social studies, that's geared toward the task, and you can adapt it and present it to your student who may be a year or so away from taking that exam and may be reading at a 6th or 7th grade level. That's what this all is about today. So CUNY came up with this wonderful curriculum. It deals with all content areas of the task: social studies, science, the reading, the writing, and the math. But what's really cool about it is when they have the social studies, they just don't say, here's the social studies, start. What they do is they take segments of it, and then not necessarily the entire breadth of what the exam will cover. They'll take key topics and they'll cover them very comprehensively. And what they'll do is they'll integrate English language arts lessons right into them. And in the science section, math will be integrated into it, so that all of you are experienced tutors. You know and I know that when you're sitting with your student and you've got a few topics that you're working with, you may take, say a half an hour and you're working on social studies. And then you'll switch gears and you might go to math or you might go to English language arts. And at this point in the process, your student might go, oh, and sag and say, oh, I hate English, or I hate to write, or I don't want to do this, and you lose them. And you have to try to bring them back. This is going to show you a way to more fully integrate the lessons so that when you're presenting the social studies material, you don't necessarily have to make those abrupt changes. You can actually present an English language arts lesson that's using the content of social studies. So you're almost killing two birds with one stone. You're reinforcing content, and you're also teaching in another area, English language arts. Does this make sense? Okay. Okay.